Hey, so what's up guys? It's your boy Patience once again, and I decided to come at you guys with a little new one. In this one I want to go over the Tomb Raider situation so we can get a better idea of what ISB is talking about. So it's going to be original Tomb Raider vs the reboot trilogy Tomb Raider. And I'm going to bring out a few highlights to see what we think about lookalikes who actually resembles the original Tomb Raider, and taking into consideration of what we actually expect from our Tomb Raider games in the future. So I want to try and bring out lookalikes, continuing from our previous video. Don't get me twisted, like I said, I do like this original Tomb Raider, though I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to kind of contradict that, because I won't be playing the next two Tomb Raiders from the reboot, which is Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, simply because I don't want to be playing as a character that feels Caucasian and sounds Caucasian, as if to say that at 1 minute it's okay to be walking around dropping dog poop all over the place, and then the next minute it's just okay to just play game, or be a character in a game and expect everyone to be entertained with your content, because I feel like that's downright out of order, to say the least, my darn self. Now guys, I don't want to take out of consideration that I do know that obviously many people do have pets, or many people have had pets, and many people may have the same conduct as, or hygiene, the conduct of hygiene as I would have to go out and state Caucasian people, which is just taking your pets out and allowing it to drop droppings all over the place. But my argument here, I guess you would say, if not my point of the take on the matter, would be that if you were to go to somewhere like America, you were to go to England, you were to go to Russia, you were to go to Ukraine, you were to go anywhere where you will find Caucasian people, 9 times out of 10, majority of the population of that culture, of that race, is going to have pet dogs, and 99% of the time they're going to be dropping dog loot damn near up and down every street, regardless of who their neighbors are, who their friends are, who they like or who they don't like. It seems to be a common trait, which I think is a very disgusting and out of order trait to have, especially amongst multi-gendered or multicultural peoples, especially when considering friends and relationships. So as you can see, we got the reboot Lara Croft, we got the original, and we have Hellblade. If you was to put Hellblade in the middle of these two Lara Crofts, and you were to say, well, who does this character more resemble? You would likelihood say she looks a lot more like the reboot trilogy Tomb Raider. So if I pull up an actress, a well-known actress that was in like Lord of the Rings, and she came in that TV show called Lost, and you was to pair her up with both of the Tomb Raiders, you're more likely to liken her to the new trilogy reboot Tomb Raider once again. They almost look damn near identical, mostly due to the part that the reboot trilogy Tomb Raider does not have any tan to her skin, which is very unfortunate. I think it is unfortunate that we've taken this route, simply because I like the tan complexion for starters, and if anyone's familiar, unfortunately I have to bring this up, I didn't want to do this within my gaming channel, but I will have to in this regard. It is unfortunate that I will have to bring this up, which is I don't like the idea of using Caucasian people especially to kind of take over our Lara Croft, simply because they don't have respect for the streets that we pay taxes on, etc, etc, etc. But as you can see, with the original Tomb Raider, I've pulled up a singing celebrity here, and her looks and her features more resembles that of the original Tomb Raider than that of the reboot trilogy Tomb Raider. This singer obviously has a background that is not fully Caucasian, if there's any Caucasian within her at all. She's very beautiful, stunning. This is an image taken of when she was young. I'm not sure of her age now, because I don't keep up to date with a lot of some of the in-house celebrities. Obviously, this celebrity came in, I think it was Transformers, and I believe she may even come in the new Alien movie. Very attractive, appealing young female once again. And if you were to pair her up next to both the Tomb Raiders, you would say she looks more like the original Tomb Raider. She has enough tan on her skin, and she's also very attractive. This one, I believe, is damn near identical to the original Tomb Raider, most part because of her thick lips. She has the nose. If you were to liken her to either of the other Tomb Raiders, she's going to be more likened to the original Tomb Raider. This character obviously came in Dark Angel in previous times. My point being is these are some of the characters that I would feel a little bit more comfortable playing with in a Tomb Raider title. Most part because of originality, guys. As we can see, this character played in Charmed, a TV series called Charmed, and I believe she's identical to the original Tomb Raider, and she comes with a fair degree of complexion to her skin tone as well. So taking these things into consideration, guys, where do we see Tomb Raider in the future? Now, I hate to be pretty harsh and steppy toes on this one, but it is something to take into consideration. My point here is taken into consideration as we look at the original Tomb Raider. This young, beautiful female has thick lips. I would like to create a Tomb Raider in the future because Tomb Raider, in a sense, or Lara Croft rather, she has no real identity nowadays anymore, we would say. So character customization schemes, I would like to create my own Black Beauty. This is a model here that I decided to pull up for this purpose, and this is another one here that also has strong features of the original Tomb Raider. So I've pulled up a lot of model here, guys, models, actresses and singers alike, and I see close something that resembles an imprint, a close identical imprint to the original Tomb Raider, most part due to the thick lips, and I guess you would have to go as far as say the attractive features if you're familiar with any of the later titles from the original seasons. So I guess at this point now the real question would be, why did we step away from the original brown, and stepped more towards the Caucasian? Now I do have to backtrack my words a little bit, because I have seen and I was getting ready to play Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and in those ones her face features, I have a little more of a Moroccan kind of Mexican feature, but her skin tone is still slightly too bright, if you was to ask me personally, guys. And hopefully I'm not offending anyone in this video, but as you can see, this character here, I'm not bringing out any names at this moment, maybe I should. Obviously it's the same actress that I brought out a minute ago. She looks a lot like Lara Croft, but I also found someone, I guess you could say a diamond in the rough, that would play Lara Croft perfectly, which would be this character. She obviously came in Spider-Man 2, the reboot Spider-Man movies, and as you can see, she's got relatively nice sized lips. She's got the right skin tone. Her hair texture is perfect, and she looks like she's got the perfect attitude to fit and slot right into the character perfectly. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but she has the features of the original Tomb Raider, damn near the exact same skin tone as well. Taking into consideration that Tomb Raider is supposed to be rich, she's not like an inexperienced, I guess you would say, brat. And at the point as well was trying to bring forward that there's so many young, very attractive females that we could use to play Lara Croft, both in game and in movies. So why don't we consider any of these people? Why are we kind of stepping away from that and kind of trying to lighten the tone of the Tomb Raider? My point to bring out here would be if we had a movie about the Queen, I guess we could say, how would we feel if we replaced the Queen's image with someone that was a complete contrast, the opposite complexion of what the Queen was? Would we feel offended by that? Now, granted, no one's necessarily been making an uproar about the skin tone and the features of Lara Croft, but is it something that we really should be kind of making an uproar about? I mean, when you look at something like Hellblade, and getting into the mind of that young Caucasian woman, I feel like that's a very kind of disturbing game, especially for young females to be looking up to as like a role model, where Lara Croft is young, she's rich, she's attractive, and she's also well tempered or well mannered. She has a positive mind, so we're not really introduced into her mind in that regard as such, but whenever we are, it's more pleasant. So why have we decided to take a sidestep from the original style, the original brand, the original features, to step towards more this kind of look? Now, my main argument towards which I will finish towards not really liking the idea of a Caucasian looking Lara Croft is most part due to the fact that I don't really like the fact that Caucasians don't respect the streets as much as most people, when taking into consideration pets and dropping dog poo all over the place. It's almost like saying, okay, you can do this, and we're also going to throw a trophy out there. You can, highlight yourself on TV screens, cinema screens, and in games, after, disrespecting a batch of people. It's kind of like saying, okay, say I'm in a relationship, and the person that I'm with does something wrong that I really don't like. I get angry, I shout at them, and I tell them I'm going to break up with them, and then I go out, there's dog poo all over the place, and I'm like kind of shaking hands and friendly with the person that's, well, practically committing a crime, because it is actually supposed to be a crime to be dropping your loot all over the place. So and then kind of looking at a game like Hellblade, where the character seems to be very, very disturbed, and then if you look at Lara Croft, at least in this the reboot Lara Croft, she kind of has that way. She's not that deep, but she does have a disturbing way about her ish. At least in the first game. In the second game and in the third game, they've kind of taken it back towards heading back towards the original features, which I'm a lot more satisfied and comfortable with personally, simply for the two facts and points that I brought out. Now, again, I must say I apologize to anyone out there that I may or may not have offended in any way. Obviously, no one likes to be offended in any way, but it is something to take into consideration. How far do we expect to go with Lara Croft? Is she Lara Croft original? Is she sexy? Is she slender? Is she cute? Is she every boy's dream and every woman's wonder as to how to be sexy and become like something like an accomplished young woman, and how to attain that, goals and etc. what to strive for? Or is she more like the reboot, which is kind of like a standard female that kind of just I guess you would say staggers around caves, battling, I guess you could say, grown, fully armed men, because she wants to try and grab artifacts before they do, which is damn near no different to the original, just a lot more, I guess you could say, a blunt approach as to the more stealthy kind of strategic approach. The original Lara is stealthy, and she obviously has an approach that is a lot more, I guess you could say, interesting, a lot more um, intuitive, I guess you could say. And the new Lara Croft is a little bit more kind of like brutal. You'd almost say rage. Now it's being covered up, I would say personally, with the survival instinct. The original Lara Croft was survival instinct, but she had a certain approach about it that was very feminine, which is what covers my previous upload, which is, do we make our girls feel ugly? This is very important questions, guys. The reason being is because when our girls go out and they buy their makeup and they address themselves with the stuff that they spend usually quite a lot of money on themselves for, and then we turn and start focusing on something similar to like a rugrat, will this and does this make our girls feel very unattractive when we say that we're going to pair like two characters up against each other, and kind of dictate which one's more sexy as to which one is probably less attractive? Anyway, guys, it's your boy Patience. I hope you like what you be seasoning hers, and if you did, leave your thumbs, leave your likes and those comments down below. And if you have any queries, guys,